today's video, we'll be talking about Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. After Halloween 3, Season of the Witch not being a hit and success, because Michael Myers was not in Halloween 3, the studio decided to bring back Michael Myers because that's what fans wanted to see him again. They missed him in the last movie. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill are no longer part of the franchise at this point in time. John Carpenter left the series to Mustafa Akkad, who was the owner and founder of the Halloween franchise after John Carpenter's departure. Deborah Hill said she was not interested in doing any more Halloween movies. John Carpenter wanted to move on to other movie projects. Jamie Lee Curtis has not come back as Laurie Strode in this movie, because at this point in time, Jamie Lee Curtis was an established star. At this point in her career, she was big in movies like Trading Places and A Fish Called Wanda. Like I said in my Halloween 2 video, around this time the slasher subgenre was big and popular. Almost every year there was a new Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. The 80s was the decade of the horror movie franchises. They originally wanted this movie to be a sequel about Lindsay Wallace and Tommy Doyle as teenagers. Michael Myers would have been a ghost. This idea sounds like a poor man's version of Nightmare on Elm Street meets Poltergeist of The Shining. Don't get me wrong, I like this movie and the characters, but that could have worked and been interesting. This original idea was written by Dennis Etchison, I'm not sure I'm saying his name right. Joe Dante was considered to direct this movie. Again, as much as I like Joe Dante as a film director, but he's not the first director that comes to mind to direct a Halloween movie. In 1988, there was a Writers Guild of America strike that lasted from March through August of 1988. It's one of the longest strikes in WGA history. This was an impact on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers production. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers was written by Alan B. McElroy, who was hired and forced to develop a concept to write a script in less than 11 days and pitch it. I don't know the whole story what happened to the 1988 WGA strike, but it's probably nowhere near close to what we had recently with the 2023 WGA strike. The movie's a cool opening shot of the fall season, putting that Halloween fall season. I love the visual shots of the scarecrow, random farm equipment, and random Halloween decoration camera shots. It's a moody atmosphere, it's fantastic. Instead of using the traditional Halloween music, they use something else that feels very chilling. As James Rolfe said, it captures the true spirit of the Halloween season for Halloween. A lot of fans point out this is the best part of the movie and it goes downhill. Well, I'll admit, this is a good opening. At the same time, it does not go downhill from here, for me at least. The movie shows that Michael Myers has been in a coma for 10 years. In Halloween 2, he died in a fire burning, or so we thought. This just came to mind. Just like King Kong lives, why do they keep Michael Myers alive? Are these doctors morons not reading the newspaper of Michael Myers killing people? I guess these doctors have a fascination with the supernatural that he can't die. Next time just dump in the liquid fire like in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is going to be cliche and a broken record for me to say this. Like a lot of Halloween fans, I hate the mask that he wears in this movie. It's probably one of the worst Michael Myers masks of the series. Not that I approve of this, I wonder because Carpenter, who directed the first movie, is not involved in this movie. He probably not allowed future Halloween directors to use the same mask from the first movie that was so iconic. That blank pale motion devil eyes of pure evil. And it could have been a licensed issue not to use the Shatner mask from the first movie. So I guess instead they had to make their own cheap lame version of a Michael Myers mask. Also, why does Michael Myers' mask hair look blonde at one shot at the school? Back in the 80s when people saw us in the movie theaters, no one noticed this Easter egg, not like in today's modern world of online Easter egg hunts. Same with the Halloween soundtracks. They used or made up a mod-poor version of the original John Carpenter score from then onward in the series. Michael Myers looks too bulky like a football player. He's played by stuntman George P. Wilbur. Wilbur does an alright job, but he's nothing special as Michael Myers. He doesn't bring anything different or new as Michael Myers. He does his usual thing. Not a lot to say about his portrayal as Michael Myers. Just like the first movie, he kills a mechanic, gets another suit. And just like the first movie, before wearing the mask, he's wrapped in bandages in his hospital gown. In a way, he looks like the Mummy. Also, how did Michael Myers' eyes heal fast? He got shot in the eyes in the last movie, and it's not explained he was not blind. Is Michael Myers a fast healer? Who the heck knows? Whatever. They did try recreating like how in the first movie, not knowing Michael Myers could be around and kills you at any moment. But at the same time, the first movie did that very well. Donald Pleasant's back again as Dr. Loomis. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to see him again. It's never a Halloween movie without Dr. Loomis. But when I was a teenager watching this movie, and to this day, whenever I go back to rewatch this movie, I ask myself, how did Dr. Loomis survive the explosion in the last movie? On top of that, Michael Myers stabbed him in the abdomen. Michael Myers, it makes sense. He survived because he's supernatural. We see how Loomis has scars and third-degree burns. Even material is nothing new or special. It's still fun to watch him, just like how Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee always give it their all, their best performances, no matter what. We see how Loomis is at his worst of tiredness, exhaustion compared to the last two movies. He wants to put an end to Michael Myers, no matter how it's done. I like the scene when Loomis finds Michael Myers at the gas station. As usual, he tries to help him negotiate with Michael Myers, but Michael Myers does not listen. The gas station explodes. Michael Myers is on the loose again. It's like an old Western showdown. For a little Easter, there's a picture of President Abraham Lincoln in the background at the diner gas station. I also like the scene when Loomis hitches a ride with a priest who drinks whiskey. It's only a brief part, but he has good dialogue with Loomis. I won't recite it, go give it a watch. But I agree with fans that Loomis is repeating himself in the same dialogue from the last two movies. He's looking for Michael Myers, as usual. The police and townspeople don't believe him. I guess they're trying to figure out what happened 10 years ago, what Michael Myers did back in 1978. We see how Sheriff Brackett retired and moved to Florida. In this movie, it's the 10-year anniversary of Michael Myers when he escaped and killed people on Halloween night 1978. Loomis knows that history is repeating itself. Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell, is a good character, stereotypical teenage girl. While Jamie's not her real sister, she treats her like a sister and loves her like a sister too. She's likable and sympathetic. At first, I found her a little bit bitchy and selfish, how she would not babysit Jamie because she had a date with her boyfriend Brady. Then she makes up to Jamie by promising her to take her for ice cream after school. But when Michael Myers is after Jamie, she protects her and makes sure Jamie is safe, nothing bad happens to her. Rachel's heroic and the new final girl in this movie. She was the new Laurie Strode of this movie. She mentioned to Jamie how her mother used to babysit her when she was a little girl. When Rachel and her friend Lindsay pick up Jamie from school for some ice cream, her friend is named Lindsay. Fans have pointed out, is this the Lindsay Walsh from the first movie? But honestly, I don't see it that way. There's no connection. This is basically her own character, a minor character. Her boyfriend Brady was a two-timing backstabber. He gets mad and upset when Rachel has to cancel their date because she must babysit Jamie. When Rachel takes Jamie trick-or-treating, she finds out Brady was cheating on her. Before it was revealed, this part was cliche, too obvious and straightforward. It was not rocket science to figure out Brady was cheating on Rachel. Even though Brady cheated on Rachel, at least he rebounded and did his best to save Rachel and Jamie. I like the rooftop chase sequence with Rachel, Jamie, and Michael Myers. How Rachel saves Jamie and makes sure he gets far away from Michael Myers. Rachel falls off the roof and thankfully, of course, she did not die. Brady and his girlfriend become popular with online memes. One is where it's a fake Halloween 4 movie poster, the night Brady did not get laid. That is actually pretty funny. The second one right here is also funny, where Brady's girlfriend is giving out Halloween candy, wearing only a t-shirt, and not wearing any pants. The joke is, no one gives out Halloween candy like that, or something like that. I forget how that meme was. My point is, who the heck gives out Halloween candy like this? I'd probably tell the parents to skip that house because the woman was not wearing any pants in front of kids. The way her character dies is kind of a strange death scene, and what the heck, and no explanation how the heck do you stab someone with a shotgun. For a minute there, it looked like Michael Myers was going to shoot her, but instead he stabs her, and the gun goes right through the wall. Michael Myers must be that strong. He must have eaten his Wheaties that day, or should I say candy. Before this incident, it was funny how she turned down a guy named Wade telling him to fuck off, Wade. What a pisser. Lisa Wilcox originally auditioned for the role of Rachel for Halloween 4, and Ellie Cornell originally auditioned for the role of Alice for Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Lisa Wilcox did not get the role of Rachel in Halloween 4, and Ellie Cornell did not get the role of Alice in Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Both movies came out the same year. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 came out in August, and Halloween 4 came out in October. Jamie Lloyd, played by Daniel Harris, is the daughter of Laurie Strode. They don't mention who her father is, whether it was Jimmy from Halloween 2. Her father is unknown in this movie. They mention that her mom and dad were killed in a car accident 11 months ago. She's the next target because she is the niece of Michael Myers. She's likable, sympathetic, she's cute, adorable. You feel bad how her mom, Lori, died. Danielle Harris does a good job. Her crying was believable when she was looking at a photo of her mom. She's sad and misses her mom a lot. It shows how broken she is at losing her mother. It shows that because she's a little girl, she can't stop or defend herself against Michael Myers. She needs help and protection from Loomis and her older stepsister, Rachel. She gets bullied in school. I guess the kids know who she's related to and why she did not wear a Halloween costume in school. Those kids were annoying brats. At first, she didn't want to go trick-or-treating, but after the kids being mean to her, she decided she wanted to go trick-or-treating. Seeing them wear their Halloween costumes in school makes me think and remind me how back in the 80s, kids could wear their Halloween costumes in school, not in today's modern-day world. I remember as a little kid when they stopped that. Well, that is unless we were having a small Halloween party in the school, we were allowed to wear our costumes. I know, weird school rule policy does not make any sense sometimes. That's like how nowadays, if you bring peanut butter to school, they call in the firing squad. As a kid watching and see her get chased by Michael Myers, made me root for her throughout the entire movie to see Jamie get as far away as possible from Michael Myers for protection and safety. Dr. Loomis does his best to protect Jamie. It shows he has compassion towards Jamie. It's like in Hammer Horror Dracula when Van Helsing shows compassion to the little girl who almost got bitten by Lucy. I remember when they filmed this scene when Danielle Harris's character is being chased by Michael Myers. The stuntman George P. Will would take his mask off to remind her, I'm only acting pretending. It's only a movie, I'm not going to hurt you. Like I said before in my podcast with Wolfman Sam, actors who play bad guys and serial killers are the nicest people in real life. This story reminds me of Boris Karloff in Frankenstein, how May Clark was afraid of him dressed in makeup. He told her, when you see me wiggling my finger, he was letting her know I'm only acting, not really going to hurt you. I met Danielle Harris in 2013 at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I told her I was a big fan of the Halloween franchise, and I asked her questions. She had the actual clown costume. It was displayed by the side near her table booth, which was cool and awesome to see that she kept that she wore in the movie when she was a little girl during the making of this movie. Apparently, she went out trick-or-treating that year with that costume. I like how Michael Myers killed the police and the town had limited resource options to protect Jamie, and were low on reinforcements. Loomis suggested to the sheriff that the truck drivers and hunters, who are not police officers, could help. Loomis had a good point. It's like the angry villagers in the classic Universal monster movies. The hunters who were not police officers, but it was better than no protection for Jamie. Even the hunters and truck drivers were trying to track down Michael Myers to kill him. Just like Halloween 2, a teenager was accidentally killed when they thought it was Michael Myers. After Jamie and Rachel are found by the sheriff for protection, they spot Michael Myers and some other person dressed as him, unsure which is the real one, but only to find out it was a bunch of idiot moron teenagers playing a prank. They were not smart to think they could have gotten shot. The scene when Loomis and Jamie were at the school, originally they wanted Michael Myers to flip the desk over to find Jamie, but they cut this due to budget reasons. The finale is good when Rachel hits Michael Myers in the truck. I love when Rachel's line says, "Die, you son of a bitch!" Michael Myers gets shot down by the police. Just when Loomis thinks it's all over, Rachel and Jamie are saved. Jamie's stepmom is running a bath for Jamie. When she puts the mask on, we see her point of view, just like Michael Myers did in the first movie. She stabs her stepmom, cuts to Loomis, loses his cool, shouting, "No!" points the gun at her. Then the sheriff takes the gun away from him, and ends on a cliffhanger that she might be the new killer in the next movie. When I first saw this part as a teenager, like anyone who saw this thinking, oh no, Jamie's going to be the killer in the next movie, this part also freaked me out a little bit. Also, as a teenager watching this scene, it shocked me. I did not see this coming, that the evil curse was passed down to Jamie. I'll touch upon this in the next video. Here my friend Joe is recording on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Halloween 4 is another cool movie in the franchise, in the Halloween franchise, and it once again stars Donald Pleasant. Donald Pleasant, his daughter was in the Christmas Carol, the one from 1984. I think it was 1984. I found out a while back that was her in there, and but yeah, I didn't know that years ago, but that's really cool. Halloween 4, it also stars Danielle Harris, and that's when she starts in there. she also was in part 5, of course, but yeah, she was in this too in part 4. Danielle Harris, yeah, she was also in the Urban Legend, and then actually the Charm series episode 2, and then Hatchet was another movie. I think that was the name of it, but I remember she was in that, and she's another cool character in these movies. The Halloween series started in 1978, and then Friday the 13th, 1980. But yeah, those were really good movies. In my opinion, they were really the best horror movies. The kind of movies, ones from the 80s. A lot of the movies back then, but the Halloween and the Friday the 13th were really good too. And but yeah, those are my actual top movies. Are Friday the 13th, and then Nightmare on Elm Street. Second, and then Halloween. But yeah, these were good. These kind of movies from the 80s. Because like I said, there was no GPS then, and that's what made it really good too. And these movies are actually more funny than scary to me. In my opinion, they were good then. And then you had other movies which took place, after Halloween, or Friday the 13th, because that's what really, started the horror franchise for that, back in the 80s. And for example, you had movies like Prom Night, and a whole lot of other movies. Graduation Day, and like I say, any of those movies was really good back then for the 80s, and then the ones from the 90s too. Like the Leprechaun series came out, that I really liked too. It was even good then because there was no GC, there was no computers, it was like, or CGI, it was like special effects. That's what made these movies good. In my opinion, it was really the best horror franchises back then. Our horror movies was the 70s, 80s, and 90s, in my opinion. That was really the best for horror movies. But yeah, the Halloween 4 also has like special effects again, and because a lot of these movies in these times were back then in the 80s too, but this movie was, that's what made this movie cool too. And part 4, it continues off from the end of part 3. And that's what made these movies good too back then. A lot of them is that it continued right from where the other ones left off. With some of these other franchises. And but yeah, I strongly recommend this movie too. It's another great one in the franchises. In the Halloween franchise, and actually it's another one of my favorites in the series. Because my favorite ones in the Halloween series is 1 through 4. So yeah, this is another great movie in the series. It's but yeah, I strongly recommend this one to check out.
Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers is not perfect, but I enjoy it. It's a good, decent movie. Granted, I'll admit, it's a repeat of the first Halloween movie. It's nothing new, different, or original. It was alright for me. I liked it a little bit more than Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but that's just me. It has its flaws, but I still enjoy this one. It's still one of my favorite Halloween sequels that I enjoy going back to rewatch again every now and then for the fun of it. Stay tuned tomorrow for Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Oh boy.